Hey class, and welcome to Social Work 630, Social Work Practice with Individuals. I wanted to take some time to go over the syllabus for the course. This is a very heavy course and may take some more time out of your schedule than typical courses as it's accelerated. So take some time to review the syllabus. This is the downloaded version of the syllabus. It may look different than what you have on your screens in Canvas. It's just a little easier to move through on the screen. This is a prerequisite course for Social Work 639. So here you can read through some of the competencies and dimensions. I'm not going to go over these one by one, but it would be useful to read through them. And then we have our course objectives. The goal of this course is to progress within your clinical practice and really integrate the personal and professional values. We're going to place some focus on the impact of countertransference and use of self in therapy sessions, and just get a better understanding of some evidence-based treatments and different types of theory related to clinical work with individuals. So, and we also want to pay attention to some of the various factors that might come into play within any therapy session, which might include, attention to cultural factors and oppression, trauma, different kinds of family makeups, and there are many different things that might be involved when you're thinking about a therapy session besides just theory in itself. Here you'll see the required texts. I'm hoping that all of you have received them or bought them already. If you do not yet have the text, please let me know. You will see, as in most courses, the requirements. For the course, you are expected to get a B- or better grade. Our typical policies, standards for academic integrity, making sure that you are following APA format for all written assignments, including discussions. I do tend to focus a bit more on this from what I hear than some other instructors, so please make sure that you are paying attention to using appropriate APA format. You can find a resource for APA in the Student Resource Center page on Canvas as well. Also, moving down, please keep in mind that you are expected to interact with the course weekly. Missing posts or responses will affect your grade. I can be lenient if there are, different circumstances that might prevent you from meeting a deadline, but please make sure that you let me know as soon as possible so that we can work out a plan for submission. Here you'll see the policy for incompletes. I will say for this course, since this is a prerequisite for Social Work 639, incompletes are not recommended for this course because you'll quickly move into Social Work 639. In terms of my availability and how to contact me, I do try to be as responsive as possible to messages. I will mention that Canvas is my preferred way to communicate. I will get an email to let me know that I have a Canvas message, but I won't get notified on Canvas if I have an email. So it's just an easier way just to have one place where we're communicating about everything. If you do at any point feel like you need some more verbal discussion, we can schedule a phone call or a Zoom meeting if that might be helpful. I do recognize that there are some concepts that we might learn in this course that are not as easily explained, and the feedback isn't as easy to provide just through message. If anybody does need any learning accommodations, just make sure that you are contacted academic support services so that we can make sure that you have your needs met throughout the course. So here you'll see how you'll be evaluated throughout the course. You'll see that 40% of your grade is class participation, so that's going to include all of our discussions, and that includes posting your initial post as well as your response post. Then we have the attachment style reflection paper worth 10%. The developmental assessment paper is going to be your biggest assignment of the course, and that is 30% of your grade, followed by the integrating clinical material with theoretical concepts paper, which is 20% of your grade. Please make sure that you are reviewing the rubrics for each assignment, including the discussions, because that is exactly how I'm going to be grading all of your assignments. Here you'll see the breakdown of how the grading scale works. Like I said before, you're expected to have a B- or higher for this course. Again, just reiterating APA, you can find a resource for this in the student resources page on Canvas, and you can also reference your APA style textbook. Please keep in mind that your developmental assessment paper is one of the designated assignments of the program. You will be expected to upload the assignment during your last semester in the MSW program, so it is recommended, highly recommended, to make sure that you're receiving a copy of the paper after you submit it during this course so that you have it for submission when you are completing your program. So just some thoughts about the discussions. Just make sure that you are answering all of the questions that are indicated within the discussions. There are many discussions that might ask, a variety of different questions, and you just want to make sure that you are being complete with and thorough in your responses, and making sure that you are answering all of the questions that are asked of you for the discussion. And when you are providing feedback, just make sure to be professional in your responses. I find it useful to make sure to provide at least one thing that might be some positive reinforcement to the classmate that you're responding to, as well as something that might help their learning. Here you'll see the rubric. Again, I grade by the rubric. So we're making sure that we're meeting the deadlines as well as having quality posts. And, down here, the grammar and punctuation, make sure you're proofreading. And like I said before, you are expected to have APA format for the discussions. And when I say format, it's not necessarily that you're going to have a title page and all of the headings. You might have some headings, but the most important part here is making sure that you include reference and in-text citations. I'm not going to review the assignments in a huge amount of detail because I will be posting separate videos for each assignment, as well as separate videos that are going to describe each week and what the assignments are going to be. So the attachment style reflection paper is a pretty short paper. It can be pretty interesting, provide you some insight into what your attachment style is, just to better know yourself and know how your attachment style might impact the work that you have with clients. For the developmental assessment paper, this is a pretty thorough paper. You're essentially going to be picking a case from your field placement or previous work and providing a very thorough assessment through theory, as well as assessing some just a variety of different factors, whether it be cultural factors, issues related to oppression and issues related to age or gender. There's a variety of different things that you might be looking at here, as well as then looking at how you might respond in sessions with those clients, and if there is any kind of countertransference that you might face in your work with them. This is a really important piece and something that I find to be really important within your work. No matter what, you're always going to have some reactions to the clients that you work with, whether they're positive or negative or triggering to you. And it's just really important to be aware of them. As long as we're aware of them, we're less likely to do harm. Moving on then to the theoretical concepts paper. For this paper, we're diving into research a bit more thoroughly. Essentially, you're going to be doing a literature review related to the client's problem that you described in the developmental assessment paper, and then discussing how you might modify any of your information based on what you learned from the review of the research. This one does require a minimum of 5 scholarly sources, just so that you can do a thorough enough review of what the literature is, saying about the problem. Now, I will say for the developmental assessment paper, something that I didn't mention, I know that there may be some of you who don't necessarily have a particular client issue that they feel is enough to discuss for that particular paper. That is something that we can discuss over Canvas message or phone call. A lot of times people might choose somebody from a movie or a book or a TV show, and they can dive into that problem that's presented within a fictional lens. So here you'll see the course schedule. Like I said, each week can feel pretty heavy. This is more of a condensed course, so you're going to be spending a lot more time on this course than you might in a course that's a 14-week course. All of the discussion posts are due by Thursday at 11:59 p.m. and the response posts are due by Sunday at 11:59 p.m. Most of the major assignments are due on the Sunday of the week. So then you might feel inclined to look at some of these websites. These are just some different websites that might be helpful when you're doing some of your discussions or just in your work generally. Please be sure to reach out if you have any questions. Like I said, I'm going to be posting a video weekly, and it'll take a deeper dive into the learning resources and the assignments for each week, as well as doing a separate video for each large assignment that we have throughout the course. And hopefully I can be as thorough as possible to give you some details of how to complete these assignments, but of course there's inevitably going to be questions, and that's good. I want you to be asking me questions so that I can assist you in your learning and make sure that you're clear on what the expectations are for the assignments. So again, feel free to reach out to me on Canvas, and I look forward to being your instructor for this course.